Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Way of Compassion Film Festival. This is an incredible opportunity that we have. We have the filmmakers of one of our film selections, a feature-length film, Guru Nanak. This was one of the, out of all the films, one of the 3 full-length selected films, an important film. And I'm very eager to hear what this incredible panel has to offer. I'm going to get out of the way very quickly because we are running out of time. I want to introduce Adam and Jerry Krell and Dr. Rajwant Singh. Together, collectively, they brought this very important film right here to us. And we have Raleigh Burley. He's the editor of the Sopris Sun. He'll be moderating. So thank you all so much for all you do in the world. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you to our guests for joining us to talk about this incredible film, and to all the people who are viewing live or perhaps catching up after the fact. If you are live, then keep in mind you can put your questions in the comments, and hopefully we can get to a few of those. To begin, I'd love to learn more about the impetus for this film. So perhaps Dr. Singh, you could lead us in that.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Sikhism and Sikh faith is very little known by Americans in general, and worldwide people don't have that much understanding about the faith. So we did a survey back in 2015 in America to find out how many people know about Sikh faith or Sikh tradition or turban, and similarly, how many people know about Guru Nanak. And we did a survey, and the results were chilling. We found out very little, or almost 6 to 7% people only knew who Sikhs are, and some have interacted with them. But 0% of Americans knew about Guru Nanak. And he is the founder of the 5th largest faith, and yet nobody knew him. So we had an uphill battle, uphill task to create awareness. And the best way we thought was to create a documentary. And Jerry and Adam had done much work on creating awareness and understanding about Eastern faith traditions. So we felt that they will do a great job in introducing Guru Nanak to the national audience as well as worldwide audience. And they will do justice to this very challenging subject. So that's how the whole thing started.
I thought it was really cool that you had different authorities on various world religions as people who were interviewed, and people who knew about Sikhism and also saw the similarities. Could you speak about how the process went of finding the people who were included into the film?
Some of these personalities I have interacted, and as well as Jerry had really a vast experience of interviewing many of these esteemed personalities from different faiths because of his past movies and documentaries that he has created. So it was easy for us to discuss who would be the best fit from each faith tradition to really give their understanding about Guru Nanak and his philosophy, and how there are sort of commonalities and the traditions where they interact and intersect. So this is how the whole list was prepared, and I think Jerry did a great job in bringing all these people together.
Mm-hmm.
I rounded up the usual suspects.
Well, that kind of leads us to your work, Jerry and Adam, as a father-son filmmaking team, and you've produced many films, several on religious topics, as mentioned, Could you talk about how that partnership really came to be something official and an asset to you both?
Well, it all started off way back when, actually, I hate to say it, but the first film that we did was called Jews and Christians, A Journey of Faith, which we shot in Israel and in the United States, on what Jews share in common with Christians and what they don't. And believe it or not, we were to premiere at the Press Club on September 11th, 2001.
Wow.
That, of course, that screening did not happen at that time, unfortunately, but not unfortunately, but because of the events. But a few weeks later, they did show it at the Press Club at that time. But that was where it began in terms of making documentaries on interfaith understanding. In regards, and first of all, I do want to thank you good folks for inviting us to the festival. We're greatly honored to be part of the Compassion Film Festival, and just wanted you to know that that was a great honor, and we're deeply appreciative of it. In regards to the making of the film, I must confess that we're filmmakers. I don't know if you've heard of course, Frank Gehry, the famous architect. And he asked Sidney Pollack, the Hollywood director of Tootsie, to make a documentary on his work. And a reporter said, "Why did you ask Sidney Pollack to do a film on your architecture?" And Frank Gehry answered, "Because he doesn't know anything about it." And that's really where we're coming from, in terms of, it's just a kind of a blank slate, but I've taken knowledge from the Sikhs who say, arm yourself with knowledge. And that's really what we do. We approach it with a blank slate, but we have to do our homework to get it right. In fact, I think Rajwant, we had competition from all of Bollywood, and Rajwant may want to add some comment to that.
This was again a very well thought plan to take this camera and introduce people who are knowledgeable about Guru Nanak, but yet at the same time doing something based on his philosophy and how his vision of the world is being implemented by Sikhs today. So that was a great story to talk about, and to really introduce Guru Nanak in a very compassionate manner, because Guru Nanak was all about compassion. Guru Nanak was all about equality and understanding and interfaith dialogue. And this whole film, rather than becoming a sort of an academic narration about Guru Nanak and his philosophy and his life, it actually engages people and really inspires people to take action positively. So that's how this whole thing became so attractive for audiences of various backgrounds. So it's not only for Sikhs, anybody can watch this film and be inspired.
That leads really well into a question from the audience and directed to Adam. What was one of the most surprising things that you experienced in making the film?
One of the most surprising things. Well, one of our initial challenges was, of course, when we were envisioning this project. We were very excited and honored to be able to tell the story of this figure of history, Guru Nanak, who not many people in America know about. So we thought we really had in our mind when we were conceptualizing the film that we would be able to do a lot more recreations. Maybe even, cast someone who may look like Guru Nanak. And that was one of the first things we realized very soon, that that is not, that is against the religion. You're not supposed to replicate Guru Nanak's image in that way. So that was our first real challenge, was how do we tell his story without replicating his image. Now there are some historic imagery that was available that was okay to use, so we could use that, but we couldn't recreate certain scenes that we had originally intended. And that's kind of where we came up with this leaned more on this idea of featuring Sikh Americans who really exemplify Guru Nanak's message and his values, and we kind of were able to, and I think in the end, of course, it made it a better film because it brought it to today's. It wasn't just as Rajwant said, like a historic narration of Guru Nanak's life, but it actually made it, I think, more relevant to Americans today.
Yes, I think it was a great demonstration of the effects of one's faith on how they live their life, and a lot of people really embodying the values. The three big ones that are mentioned being hard work, to donate, and to make one's life a service to others, to think of others. I noticed the use of music, and the way that music is spoken about in the film was really powerful to me. Could you talk about your choices of music and how that played in the film for you all as well?
Well, Guru Nanak is the singing guru.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole liturgy is sung, and so that's really what it's all about. I must confess, I did find a little bit of a way not to show Guru Nanak because he traveled a great deal, but were able to find somebody who symbolized the Muslim person who accompanied him and played. And so we did show scenes of his travels through this gentleman who played music. And so we didn't show the guru himself, but we were allowed to show his companion, Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, do you want to join in?
Well, I wouldn't be able to speak specifically to the song choices. I think Rajwant would be able to speak to that in terms of what we chose. But that was one thing that was very much affecting me, was how much music is a part of the religion and how beautiful the music is. And so that was something we really were excited to be able to incorporate in the film.
Yes, I just wanted to add that how Guru Nanak always communicated through music. And so music had to be at the center of this entire narrative. And so even the scriptures and the words that he wrote, they were all set to music. So, and the most beautiful part is that both Adam and Jerry could feel themselves the power of music. So they became themselves very much involved in showing this powerful instrument of communication. And whether it was at the Golden Temple, the center of Sikhism, or through the American singer Sanatam Kaur, or a group of singers in the open field in Punjab, India. All of that was incorporated very beautifully throughout the film. And also, of course, the birthplace of Guru Nanak in Pakistan. So you can see music is just leading us to reveal more of Guru Nanak.
I think it's ironical that Sanatam Kaur that particular year was nominated for a Grammy for New Age music, and she is a devotee, and all her music is Sikh music, and yet her nomination was for New Age music. So you can see Guru Nanak music lives on today. In fact, he almost got a Grammy Award.
Well, this is another question from the audience, and maybe it speaks to what you were just mentioning, but what are the most common misconceptions regarding Sikhism? And we can start with you, Dr. Singh.
Well, the first one is that people either see us as a branch of Hinduism or amalgamation of Islam and Hinduism. Guru Nanak is not given the needed respect in a way that his experience was unique, and he brought a revelation which was unique, and his contributions are not well understood. So people think that this is all borrowed philosophy from here and there, and it's like a syncretism of these two faiths, or this was the whole intention. But just as Christianity had its own unique features, and Judaism, Islam, even though many of these faiths have a common roots, but each unfolded and brought a unique contribution. And similarly, Buddhism out of Hinduism. So, and many people say Buddhism is a branch of Hinduism, which is also not a correct way to present the great philosophy of Buddha. So that's one of the issues that Sikhs always have to, especially in the academia, even the professors, very well-educated people, they just write down without going through a thorough understanding about what Guru Nanak brought to the world.
Mm.
I must confess, visually, we had a wonderful opportunity. Got a call 3 days before they tie the turbans on people who come to Times Square. And Rajwant said, can you get up there and get this done? And I said, oh my God, this is a once in a lifetime. And so misconceptions and stereotype of millions of Americans and people from all over the world, we were able to dramatically and visually show that happening in Times Square when they tie on the turban, which is an annual practice that the Sikh community does in New York City.
And because of the turban, that is a sort of our article of faith, and it talks about, tells who we are. That is also misunderstood, and it's associated with violence and terrorism, or Taliban, or Bin Laden. So that has been a constant struggle for the Sikhs and the Sikh community since 9/11 to really make people understand who we are and what does this turban stands for. Equality. Turban stands for love and royalty. So those are the things we are still grappling with. And our children face bullying and hate in the school system because people don't know who Sikhs are, who Guru Nanak is. So that has been also our task, to introduce the understanding about our faith in the school system. So that's where this documentary has a really a major role to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought leading with the footage of Times Square and the tying of the turbans was really powerful to address misconceptions and sort of heal that, right? We have a question from the audience. What do you think is one of the most important messages or teaching that Sikhism can offer the world in these challenging times? Perhaps we could start with you again, Dr. Singh, and then I'd love to hear more from Adam as well.
Good idea.
Well, one of the most important thing in the current situation is that Guru Nanak talked about that we are all one, and we have been created by the same creator, and men and women are equal. Our outer differences have no significance in the eyes of God. God does not look at our labels, whether you're Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, or Jewish faith, or Islam. He only considers how much love you have for him, as well as for other men and women, other living beings. So what you do matters, not what you believe and what you sort of utter. So action based on love And compassion is the most significant feature of the Sikh faith. And the other is that when you serve others, you must not have a reward in mind, and just go out and treat other people as you are treating yourself or your own family member, and really giving respect to women as equal to men is the most important, most forward-looking thinking that he brought 550 years ago, where woman was treated very badly and still is in many parts of the world. So,
would you like to expand on that, Adam?
I'm not sure if I can express it any better than that, but I certainly I would say that was a very powerful thing that I think that is a wonderful message for the world today. I mean, just as an example, one thing that affected me most was while we were in India, the concept of langar, in which the Sikhs feed anyone who comes to the temple. It's just a service that's available to everyone. And in India, at the Golden Temple, I mean, they're feeding thousands and thousands of people a day, and there's people who are, volunteering in the kitchen, giving their time to take part in this. And of course, as you see in the film, this also happens in the United States with a food truck. So this idea of just selfless service, I think, of course, if we had more of that in our minds in this country, and of course, we live in a very divided time in this country. So this idea of seeing people as one, everyone is from one God. I think if we had more of that idea in mind when we were looking at across the political aisle, I think that would be very helpful in terms of the problems that we're dealing with and solving some of our problems that we're having.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to honor everybody's time and just ask how we're doing. I know there may have been some commitments further out. I see John turned his camera on. How are we doing, John?
Yeah, I know that we are coming up to our time, and I do want to say I feel like I just got an appetizer. And the rich discussion and just tapping into this incredible compassion and selflessness and equality. What a wonderful, inspiring message for these times today. So I do want to thank you for making the film. Thank you for knowing how important it is that people learn about each other, that people need to learn about these faiths and what we have to offer each other. I'm just inspired. And like I say, I feel like I have a little appetizer, and I do hope we have some more opportunities to learn more. Thank you, Raleigh, so much for devoting your time to moderating. And I do want to thank all of you out there at the Compassion Film Festival for taking part in inspiring and sharing compassion. So Dr. Singh, Adam, Jerry, and Raleigh, thank you so much for all that you do for the world. I think
thank you. And thank you for the very same way. And we hope so many people will watch our film and the other films at the online festival.
Well, thank you so much. You are doing actually God's work. Compassion is the basis where we can really make this a better world. Compassion towards each other and towards our Mother Earth. So thank you so much for your great work.